Let me say something about the idea of subaltern voices. The word voice there is a metaphorical word. What we mean by attending to the subaltern classes is what they do speak, and they resist, they form collectives, but there is no infrastructure for, again, to go back to the metaphor, for them to have their speech act completed. In other words, those around them with the power, the state power or non-state power, do not have the infrastructure to be able to attend to these things. Yes, now I could give you countless examples, but that would take a very long time. So it's not a question of someone trying literally to listen to muted voices. That's a metaphorical description of building infrastructure so that the citizen who is cut off from the structures of the state or social mobility can actually access them. That's what it is. It's not like top-down help. It requires working on many different levels. I work really to sabotage affirmatively liberal education, which usually has been used to produce the comfortable classes. So although the principle of the education is a very good one, what it has produced is oligarchy. So you take the principles of those education, turn it around to serve this purpose. That's my way. I give time and skill. I don't fundraise. I do not give money. I do not give unmediated cyber education, just throw computers at them. And I certainly do not give school buildings. I give my time and my skill, as I do at Columbia, so down below, for 30 years now. But that's not the only way. Above a certain level, in most countries, there is education to produce intellectual labor. Below that level, since one is only interested in manual labor from these kinds of people, either there is education to make employable, and that's considered politically correct, or there is education where answers to questions are memorized and forgotten after the exam so that the degrees are not taken seriously except to produce statistics. The Human Development Index asks how many years of schooling. That's quantitative. But when it's our own children, we go to all kinds of universities and schools to find where the education is good. That's quality control. So to an extent, this is the difference. My own vice-chancellor or president, as we say, of the university says to me, "Gayatri, your standards are too high." And I laughed at him and I said, "I'm sorry, no, your standards are too low." And I should tell you that my standards are the same at Columbia University as they are in my rural schools. In other words, to develop intellectual labor, the possibility of intellectual labor in those who are in the subaltern classes, landless illiterate. You can't go very much further down. Truthfulness. I mean, you know, for me, someone who has been so deeply influenced by the critique of humanism, philosophies that consider that individual agency is not all important, it's very difficult to use that word, truthfulness, because I don't think there is clear, objective truths that you can find. But truthfulness is a quality. It's a quality in the individual of not being afraid to say what she thinks. I'll make a simple analogy. If you want to develop your body, you go to a gym. If you want to get somewhere fast, you fly in an airplane. You're not going to be able to build your body to fly as fast as an airplane. It's the same way with the mind. You cannot, in spite of what the popular neuroethics, etc., people say, you cannot upload a computer into the brain. In order to develop the muscle memory, to develop ethical reflexes, you have to work with the mind as you work with the body in order to develop it. I can only say what I learned from my parents. Think about other people. Think about other people. You will have a much more satisfying life. That's why, and I say to my students, don't look above and complain. Look below and see how much you have. And those are my pieces of advice